Welcome back. Wow. To another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezer Show. Man. Oh wow. I'm your host Murph and of course my partner in crime that would be Doc Vox. And what's going on, Doc, man? It's been quite a weekend.
Oh,
Oh,
it's been a freaking fabulous rock and roll weekend, man. I can't wait to tell
oh
the good folks about it. I got a little bit of news to share, as we always do, what's happening in the world of rock and roll. And I got a pretty decent topic this week. I think the folks will enjoy. But
yeah, we got a lot
before
of
we get
news.
into all that, please subscribe. Just been hoping for a little more at this point. So, spread the word for those of you that have been faithful and watching and listening to the podcast. Um,
Well, we know
just
it
hit the
takes a
button,
while.
smash that button, as the kids say these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
um,
it takes forever to get to 100 followers. I mean,
yeah,
other podcasters have said, you just be patient, hone your craft,
yeah, absolutely.
and go from there. But
Enjoy the
yeah,
ride while we flub and flounder our way through what we call the Rock and Roll Geezer Show. So,
yeah, yeah,
um, yeah. Other than that, can't wait to get into this week's show, man.
yeah. How about it? Yeah. Geez. Well, of course, we were talking about the John Five. Oh, where is he? There he is. Possibly uh, taking the place of Mick Mars for the
All
upcoming Motley Crue tours because, like we said, they plan on touring forever. Basically, that the end tour that I was actually at was just a sham. It's a scam. So they'll be touring forever. But Mick Mars, no, he hasn't said anything. So it's all rumor now.
right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, just from what we've seen and read. Well, first, I was kind of wondering were people just trying to connect dots that weren't there? But apparently,
Ah,
Rob Zombie is taking on his old guitarist Mike Riggs.
right.
They announced that at the Aftershock Festival, big fest in Sacramento, and so I don't know. John Five and Rob Zombie have quit following each other on social media,
That's
so
pretty
I
telling
don't know
right
if people are
there.
just
That's
well,
pretty
yeah,
telling.
kind of, sort of, but so you kind of wonder what's going on there. And then, so I don't know exactly how they're making the leap into the Motley Crue story, but actually that came out first before the stuff about kind of the two of them being on the outs. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very interesting. We've speculated before Mick probably wouldn't be able to handle a long term tour. I mean,
Right.
it's been a big one already. So yeah, I mean, it seems logical, kind of, but stranger
Well,
things have happened.
somebody asked him online, and the fan guy named Todd asked him, "Any truth to the rumor that you were going to be filling in with Motley Crue on the
Okay,
stadium
cool.
tour or as a second guitar player?" And John Five just responded, "No, just a rumor." So he's not throwing any.
Wow.
He's not throwing any fire on
Oh,
the
I guess
situation.
some
He did post.
news.
John Five did a post a picture of him and Mick Mars playing together, actually. So that might have sparked a rumor right there, possibly. Oh, when did he post that? I can't tell when. He didn't have a date there, but yeah, he posted a
Yeah, you got
picture
to
of
wonder
him.
though. I mean, John Five doesn't seem like the type of guy who's going to let the cat out of the bag either before that's finalized. So
Yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine just because Todd, even though it's Todd, we all love Todd, but even though it's Todd asking them if there's any truth to it, I guess that he's gonna, keep
You
that
know,
under wraps. I would
I
think,
got a
even if it
feeling
were to be true.
I got a feeling he's a pretty mellow guy off the stage, John Five. I just get that vibe from him that he's not a big try to be a big rock star off stage. And we'll talk more
Right.
about rock stars later on in the news that are just funny as hell. But yeah, John Five reacting saying it's just a rumor, but there's a lot of signs
Yeah, you see
still.
comments, people, oh, Mick Mars is the heart of Motley Crue. He's not getting kicked out. It's just, something he's unable to do. So
Yeah,
if it's not
right.
John Five, it's probably gonna be somebody else. So
Well, yeah, they're going to keep going. You're right, though. you're right.
Yeah,
So, there's going to be somebody. So, grab your
yeah.
strats and away you go.
We
Oh,
shall see. Stay.
and then, of course, I read an article where Zach Wild actually hasn't learned any of the Pantera songs yet, which is pretty amazing. Considering he's he's going to be doing them all pretty soon, I imagine. So,
Well, yeah. When's the first gig? It's in Mexico. I'm not
oh
sure of the
gosh,
date.
I'm not sure of the date either. I may be able to see it with my eyes now. I had my other eye cataract surgery done. Yeah, so
Right on.
beginning with a set in Mexico's Heaven and Hell Metal Fest, but doesn't have a
Right.
date. So I imagine he's got to be learning it pretty soon. So
Yeah.
come on, Zach, step up to the plate, man. You got a lot of big shoes to fill there. So
Yeah, you would think something like that. I don't know. As soon as you found out you got the gig, you would be starting to learn them. But I mean, I get it. He's Zach Wild. He could probably pick it up very quickly. But nonetheless, I mean, I don't know. Just to be prepared and make sure that you're getting it right. And
yeah,
I don't know.
man, absolutely. But next up, Jonathan Davis. Remember we brought this up that he's
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
got a freak on a leash pet supplies, which is very cool. This and that. Oh man, he said, of course, the premium products created for all. Blah blah blah. What really makes me proud of the situation is they are they'll be donating to the animal rescue organization Take Me Home,
Right.
which right there, that does it for me. When folks do that, I'm in.
Yeah, they don't really specify what percentage is going to them or anything, but yeah,
I
just the
imagine
fact
he's
he's
not
giving to him is pretty
he's
cool.
not going to scam it though. He's going to be good on it.
Yeah, you got to think he's
and
pretty. Yeah,
I'm sure it's
pretty
a good
sincere.
organization, and anybody that takes care of pets and children, like the Shriners and St. Jude's, I'm all in on that. So good
Oh
for
yeah,
him,
hats off, man.
making
Yeah,
some money.
absolutely.
He's rich enough; he doesn't need it. It's just a side thing. Then he's actually helping out an organization, a good
Yeah,
organization. So good for
yeah,
him,
truly.
man. That's
Yeah, he's designing all this stuff himself.
yeah, well,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
like really
why not?
getting into it, I guess.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing. I think he did a thing while they were at the Aftershock festival, where it was the first 100 people to buy an item got a meet and greet with him. So he's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
trying to kick it off, and it seems like something he's pretty serious about. So
Corn
hey,
isn't the
the fact that
evil.
he's designing the stuff just shows you, yeah.
Corn isn't the evil band that a lot of the righteous think they are. They're good
Right.
dudes. They're good dudes.
Oh,
Jeez,
there's the same with back in the day with Alice Cooper. Everybody thought he was, and I find out, yeah, he golfs and
Yeah,
he's
he's an excellent
hanging out
golfer.
with Bing Crosby or whoever he's hanging out with.
Bing Der Bingle. Yeah. Jeez. Oh boy, here we go. Oh gosh almighty. Oh, there she is. This is a disturbing story, and I may have to go into woman mode on this one. Let me see here. Jeez. This is so horrifying. It's Shirley Manson. A lovely and talented Shirley Manson. Boy, she did a bad thing.
Can I start the story off and then you can do her part?
Please do.
Okay. Okay, then you can do her part. Okay. All right. So Shirley Manson, recently she had an interview in a magazine or website. I guess there are no longer magazines. I guess there are still some magazines out there, but either way, The Guardian, and they had a readers Q&A. And there were a lot of questions, a lot of, what's it like dealing with, sexism and rock and roll and that kind of stuff and everything. But one of the readers asked her a question about a quote that she had made in a previous interview about she had done something that she was very embarrassed by when she was like around 18 years old, and asked her if she asked what it was. And then Shirley responded with,
"Well, let me tell you the whole story, Doc. I had a boyfriend. I thought he was super. I thought he was cool. And yet he turned out to be a cheating SOB. So I thought to myself, how can I get back at this SOB, thinking hard, thinking long, thinking so long that I realized I had to go to the bathroom to take a number 2. But I thought to myself, well, look at there. My boyfriend laid out his cereal in the bowl without the milk, and then he went and took a shower. So I thought to myself, well, this would be a good time to teach him a lesson. So I got up there on the table. There's the Lucky Charms, magically delicious. And I squatted and I let loose and I laid one right on that big old bowl of Lucky Charms. They were no longer magically delicious. And nobody wanted them charms. And so I felt good. I took a crap on that cheating boyfriend's breakfast cereal. I'm not ashamed. I'm rather proud of it. A dear friend did similar when she discovered her girlfriend was cheating and said, while I was doing it, I thought of you. I recommend it as an act of revenge. It leaves you feeling empowered and gleeful. So there you go, Doc. That's my story.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to thank her for letting us know what's
good.
going on there.
That was awesome, Murph. Of course, the last part of that was only the actual part of the quote, but
Yeah. Well, I embellished a little
took
bit.
a dump on her boyfriend's cereal. Yeah,
That sounds
it was a
familiar.
good build up, man.
Yeah, who did that?
Well, it was
Johnny
the
Depp guy, Amber
Johnny
Heard.
Depp, Amber Heard. Yeah, I think that was in the bed, but then the cereal.
Nonetheless, in the bowl
It
of
does
Lucky
not seem like her
Charms.
that she would do something like that. She's such a sweetheart. But
Oh,
just goes to show you,
how horrifying!
Oh,
Oh,
God.
jeez, so much, and I
that's
love Lucky Charms.
That takes the term "who pissed in your cornflakes" to a whole nother level, right there. Man.
Now,
That's,
if you're gonna take a crap in a bowl of grape nuts, because that's like the worst stuff ever.
that's like kitty litter anyway. Yeah, it'll just absorb it right up. Man. It'll clump it right up and easy removal. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look who's up,
my
man!
God.
Look who's up! It's the
Our
Prince of
boy,
Darkness.
our boy.
There
Ozzy.
he is. He's got his makeup on. Notice how gleeful and fabulous his makeup
Yes,
is around his
yes.
eyes. You know why
Oh, yeah.
that is, Doc? It's because he has launched, his signature makeup collection.
Yes, he
to bring
has.
a dark glamour to cosmetic users. Yeah, he's
He's got a limited edition line of makeup coming out, and it's in a bat-shaped palette, of course.
But of course,
and
Yeah,
he
bloody
hooked up with a
love.
brand called Rock and Roll Beauty, and yeah, they're putting out this limited edition line of Ozzy makeup. So I don't know.
Well, and we saw a few of possible users this weekend, which we will expound upon later. But yeah, he's in everything. What's next?
Yeah,
That's
I
my
kind of wonder
question.
who's that aimed for? Is that aimed for like guys and wearing not a lot of eyeliner? Or is that I'm sure there's women. There's lipstick I know is involved, but I don't know.
It's they're just using his name, making some money, giving him X amount of money, and he's inspired by the
And just in time for the Christmas season, by the way. Yeah, I can see that being a gift.
Well, here's their quote. It's inspired by the iconic Prince of Darkness. Discover the Ozzy Osbourne collection. Rock and Roll Beauty says, calling the products a celebration of the metal icon and his signature style. Yeah, whatever. Lipstick, $10, bat palette, your Ozzy bat palette, a measly $25. So, it may be
it's not a bad Christmas gift,
Look like a goth or whatever. It'd be great, man. Great times for everybody.
Friends that are Ozzy fans.
Sure, good old Ozzy. Oh, also there's another item that ended up Ozzy, he just keeps giving, man. Come on, baby, load up. Yeah, Ozzy. He talks about and I saw this tour when Van Halen was opening up for Ozzy. I think it was '78
Well, for Sabbath, yes.
or for Sabbath. Pardon
Sabbath
me.
at
Yes,
the time.
yes.
Yeah.
And he was just freaked out about David Lee Roth. Just wow. He says, well, let me see here. So talks how Eddie Van Halen was such a great guy, and I have no idea. I have no doubt. You know, he's a just
Yeah, by all
no
accounts,
doubt.
I mean, yeah.
Just great. They came to our local pub, and it was good. Recalled Osborne. But David Lee Roth, he's lost a couple of nuts and bolts. When you meet him, it's like, what's wrong with him? He's like somewhere else. And I can just see it. With Ozzy on a tour. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go meet the new band. They look young and they're invigorating, and the guitarist is such a nice guy. And the bass player's drunk, but that's okay. But I'm gonna go meet the lead singer. David Lee. And I went up to him. I said, David Lee Roth. I'm Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath. How you doing? And what would he say? Just what would he say that would make Ozzy go nuts?
Hey, Ozzy, hey, dig those shoes, man. It's like the Egyptians used to say, hey, man, don't walk in the dog shit. Hey, man.
Hey,
or some fucking outrageous fucking out.
Fucking, what's wrong with you, David? You're like all whacked out, and you're still so young, and you're already out of your fucking mind.
Well, hey, man, it's like they used to say, man, back in the day when the parents used to talk to the donkeys, man, but they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So they, whatever.
I'm not surprised. That was a great tour, though. We talked about this in an earlier show, how Sabbath was on their down, they were on the way down, and Van Halen was promoting their first album, so they were hot, man. That was a great tour. We saw it in the Cow Barn, which is the nickname for the International Amphitheater, because the acoustics there were stunningly poor. Cow Barn, yeah, back in the Chicago stockyards,
right.
yeah, back in the day. But yeah, I'm sure Eddie was a deer, and David Lee, geez, ugh. And I believe recently I thought,
he's always just got something.
I could swear I read somewhere where Wolfgang quoted that the only person that can come back with a Van Halen thing would be David Lee Roth. So I don't know what's going on. We'll see what's going on there. But geez, David Lee.
Yeah, that camp is just so
he was
unstable,
whacked out back then, even. Really, he was whacked out from the start. Holy cow. Although I'm not surprised, because when
he's like the worst guy at trying to make analogies, He like I don't know, he just puts stuff together that never makes sense. And
well, I've seen he was whack. He's a great front man, horrible singer, and I've seen oh gosh, I saw a concert on YouTube. They play I think it's Montreal, a live Montreal concert. Just a magnificent, entrance. Are you ready? The great Mighty Van Halen, boom, boom. They come out. They missed like half the words, but all his jumping around and stuff. It's like, hey, it's cool. It's
the show's cool. On, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah. So, man, it's just crazy. Here we go. Here's an interesting article. Here's the headline from Consequence Sound. Rapper Chucky Chuck blasts the crowd with cannabis cannon. Then he says, F a fog machine. And it was at a concert called, interestingly enough, Kush Stock. So, yeah. Kush Stock. How about that? Let me see here. Yeah. Chucky Chuck. Never heard of him, of course. I don't know shit for rappers,
No, never.
Chucky Chuck said he said at Kush Stock was more lit than most, as the rapper blanketed his audience with a custom cannabis cannon. F a fog machine, he says on Instagram. And as he shared the footage, it's amazing when you see it. If you know, I'm sure it's on YouTube. You can go check it out. But and he was rapping one of his songs, "Smoke That."
Yeah.
So yeah, he was you know, that's a good thing. I think that's better than fog. What do you think about that, Don?
You know, you got to wonder. I was trying to find out how much cannabis was used in this in this little experiment. You know,
Look at those nuggets.
but it was, yeah, as you said, it wasn't like it was an unsuspecting crowd like you were forcing weed on them. It was a place. You know, it was called Kush Stock. It was a 21 and over crowd. You had to be 21 or over to be there. So it wasn't like they were trying to get everybody high. That wasn't wanting to get high. So, but yeah, I'm sure the amount of weed they put in there would probably get you put away for a long time in a lot of states, man. But in California, hey, it's a party. So as it is in our state of Illinois. But
well, here you go. It says here, the cannons were created by ES smoke busters out of leaf blowers and cooking pot strainers. The contraptions were then piled up with enough of the sticky icky. And wait a while, let me try it again. The contraption was then piled up with enough of the sticky icky to earn years of jail time in several states.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And once loaded, were lit on fire by enormous blowtorches.
Oh, Jesus.
That's so fabulous.
I can only imagine how much, man.
So if you want to check it out, go to ES Smokebusters on Instagram. ES Smokebusters on Instagram stories. And yeah, and I checked out the video and it's really impressive. And yeah, and speaking of you know, it is the harvest time, you know. The harvest is here, and the bounty is good, even though we had, you know, not a lot of rain. Still pretty good. Farmers are happy. You know, we're all happy. So yeah. Tell you who's not happy, if I may. Oh, how about that for a segue? Here we go.
That's
yeah, you like that? Yeah, here we go. Oh,
professional, man.
There they are. Rage Against the Machine. Damn, man, that is headline. Well, you lay it on us, Bob. Doc.
They've canceled their North American tour.
Boom.
So for 2023. So as we know, we had the accident where he fell, and at the time it was a torn ACL.
Right. Hearing. Yes.
As we were like saying, you know, that would put out a running back, be a career ender for a running back. But now they're saying a torn Achilles tendon.
Torn Achilles tendon.
Read this defense. So I don't know, kind of conflicting reports there. But nonetheless, he's laid up. He's hurt.
Their whole 2023 tour. Yeah,
it's taking a lot longer than they expect. So they don't foresee being able to make that whole tour and just cancel the whole thing. Yeah, I'm sure those decisions aren't taken lightly. We've announced a lot of those cancellations here in the last couple of months, and it's just, you know, to do a whole tour.
That's like you know, it's a company. You've got, you know, you've had tens and tens of people on, you know, for each band's tour. You know, probably, Lord knows, 30 people, whatever it takes. And yeah, so when the band doesn't play, damn it. You know, there's a lot of people going to be hurting.
Just not that their direct crew, but yeah, all the
man,
merchants and, you know, the venues and everything. So yeah, they'd already called off the UK and the European tour,
right?
That was finishing up this year,
and
now they've extended it out to next year. So
and
bummer for the fans. It's been a long time coming for them already, and now it's going to be even longer. So
Zach issued a statement. If you wish, I'll read it here. It's been almost 3 months since Chicago, because remember, he did injure it right here in Chicago, and I still look down at my leg in disbelief. 2 years of waiting through this freaking pandemic. I put freaking in there myself, hoping we would have an opening. Of waiting through this freaking pandemic. I put freaking in there myself, hoping we would have an opening to be a band again and continue the work we started 30 some odd years ago, rehearsing, training, reconciling, working our way back in form. You know, it's not easy. A band is like a family, and there's always, you know, there's conflicts. You know, it is what it is. Back to the quote. Then 1.5 shows into it, 1.5 shows, geez, and my tendons tear. Felt like a sick joke the universe played on me. As I write this, I remind myself it's just bad circumstance, just an effed up moment. And basically that's it. Jeez. What a
That's
drag,
what it is.
that's
Yeah.
gotta hurt. I'm not a big fan of his. Like I've already stated that, I'm not a big fan of it, his style of singing or talking or whatever,
No, I mean Tom Morello
whatever you
makes
want
the
to call
band
it.
to me for
But
sure.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
absolutely. But that still that sucks. It sucks, dude. Bad health. The health problems suck. So
Well, like I said, just feel bad for the fans too. They've already waited so long, and now it's going to be probably
even
another
more.
2024 at best. Sounds like so.
Well, you got modern medicine. I'm hip to that. I'm hip to modern medicine. I'm still here, so modern medicine is good for me. Oh,
It's
what do we
working
got
out.
here?
Yeah.
What do we got here? Oh, this is exciting news for a lot of people. Legendary singer, songwriter, legendary rocker John Mellencamp. Man, wow. He's firing up a tour, a 76 stop North American tour for 2023, calling it his live and in person tour. What do you think about that?
To me, that's incredible. 76 shows. I don't know what's his age at this point. He's got to be closing in on 70, if not
Yeah.
already.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So you do 76 shows. He's one of those guys that smokes like 3 packs a day too. He's had like multiple heart attacks, and he just keeps trucking. He's just one of them ornery country guys, kind of just Southern Indiana, just stubborn,
Wow.
just don't want to get. That's his nickname, Little Bastard. That's what they call him. So
Well, he hasn't been touring.
Starting off.
He hasn't been
go ahead.
touring a lot, has he?
I don't hear about him a whole lot. Every
No.
once in a while, I saw him. Oh gosh, probably about 15 years ago, I saw him. But yeah, every once in a while. But it's not a regular thing. Yeah, it's every 7-8 years at best. So yeah, he's starting off the tour in his hometown of Bloomington, Indiana, on February 5th, and ending up the tour in South Bend, Indiana, in June 24th. So. Says it's a North American tour, but there's really just only 2 nights in Vancouver, so it's basically a U.S. tour. But yeah, I don't know. Don't know how his wife Meg Ryan feels about it, But
Smilex. When you see Meg,
yeah.
when I see Meg now, I think of the Batman movie where the Joker was giving everybody Smilex, and they had that. Oh, jeez, and they had that great smile. And
Yeah.
she went too far. She was America's sweetheart.
She's gone
really
too
messed
far,
up.
yeah.
But in terms of the tour, yeah, and he's doing a bunch of multiple shows at each stop. A bunch of 3-bangers.
Well, no, it's 76 shows. Yeah, the way they word it is 76 stops. So then you see where there's like 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah, right.
Different spots, and then you think, well, maybe I counted them out. It's 76 shows.
There's a lot of 3-bangers there.
Yeah.
A lot of 3-bangers and a S-load of 2-bangers. Man, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
No, he's
wow.
one of those guys. He could probably pack a joint in each city for a week, probably, if you wanted to.
This is going to be amazing. Good for him, boy. Wow, for his age, really. I'm really impressed with these older rockers that are still out there doing it, because it's not easy at all. It's burdensome to sleep in a different bed every night, or to be on driving all it. It's just got to be brutal for someone that
just
age.
Thinking of that, that degree of travel, just consistent, boom, boom, boom. Like you said, he's not stopping. If you look on the list, there's days off here and there, but there's
man,
he doesn't have too many of them in a row. That's for sure.
Boy, oh boy, that's crazy, man. He's just wow. He's looking good though. Gosh Almighty, more power to him. Boy, what a rocker. Jeez, what a legend. Are you kidding? Boy, yeah, you're right. He could sell out a week of shows.
Yeah, he's underrated. People just think back to like Jack and Diane and even the Scarecrow days, but some of the stuff he did in the '90s, the Mr. Happy Go Lucky albums, criminally underrated. That's a fabulous album, and even stuff up to this day is putting out great albums. So yeah, good for him.
And oh man, next up, oh man, this is really juicy. This is really crazy cool. We're talking about, of course, the legendary Journey. There's the new version right there. And oh boy, according to the site, I don't know if it's VCR or UCR. I'm gonna guess it's UCR, and they've given us some really juicy information on what's going on with this thing between Neil Sean and Steve Perry. And wow, man, some of this stuff is incredible. It's very cool.
Well, you remember we reported on this a couple weeks back, and
Yeah.
it was where Steve Perry had put out a restraining order, right, or an injunction
Right.
against Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain pursuing some trademark issues. So, and
Mhm.
Neil Schon at the time said, this is not over. We're going to peel back the onion, if you remember. And I think they're starting to peel back the onion here. So,
Yeah. He Perry filed a petition last month to cancel the trademark registrations
Yeah.
filed by his former bandmates for 20 Journey songs. I imagine
Right.
they're very popular ones. He claimed that Sean and Jonathan Cain, keyboardist, couldn't move forward under the terms of a partnership contract that requires, quote, prior written and unanimous consent on all partners in each instance. And that unanimous, I'm sure that's the sticker right there. Boom. And
Right.
then Sean initially described Perry's claim as total crap. He now elaborated on Instagram, though many of the details remain vague. So you want me to go into it?
Absolutely.
Okay. He says the partnership was, quote, forced upon us all to sign 10 minutes before we were to go on in Hawaii at a string of 5 sold out shows. We had played the first 2. Then our manager, the late Herbie Herbert, came to us stating Steve Perry was not going to go on without us signing. Herbie claimed he didn't know what else to do, so he suggested we sign. We did sign, but I will say under duress and not having any time for any legals to look at it. And then, of course, Perry later left the group but retained voting rights through their management company. The subsequent lineup then imploded during a January board meeting in 2020, and Perry memorably sided against Sean. Oh man, oh man, oh man.
You
So
know,
this is a big
a lot of
mess.
times you hear about things being done under duress, and you kind of think that's kind of I don't know, maybe a buyer's remorse kind of cop out after the fact. But boy, that sure sounds like it was under duress to me, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
were getting ready to go on stage. I mean, you're in Hawaii. They had it was a 5-night string.
right,
I think
yeah,
it was the
and it sold
second or
out.
third night of the string. Yeah, and then at 10 minutes before showtime, you're gonna pull this. Yikes! Yeah, not cool, Steve. Not cool, man.
May I expound further?
That's indeed how it happened. I mean, we don't know. That's what he's, Neil's saying, but
Oh, that's
that's
just the
indeed
first
how it
part of it,
happened.
brother.
But,
That's just the first part of it. Let's go on. Let
oh
us
yeah,
continue.
no, it gets.
Perry, okay, here we go. Perry, quote, was present at the board of directors meeting. No one thought I was there, but while being represented by my attorney, I was there listening on the line, Sean now says. Perry, quote, voice was heard by myself and all that attended, voting me off the board. Wow. During the meeting, Sean said, then drummer Steve Smith voted himself in as president, while then bassist Ross Valerie voted himself in as secretary. And they all threw myself under the bus as well as John.
What the hell kind of setup is that, man?
Holy cow.
I'm voting myself for the deal. You founded the band. You're out. I'm the
Wow.
president. Ross is vice president. What
But
the hell?
Yeah, he noted that Perry had previously fired Smith and Valerie and also Herbert, although those events had taken place on different occasions. Now, here, listen to this now. This is great. This is crazy. Uh-oh. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, geez. Okay, let me see now. Here we go. Bottom line, quote, bottom line. All these years have gone by. Then this is Neil Sean, I'm sure. Bottom line, all these years have gone by. Then I found out that our music wasn't even trademarked, nor the name until 2005. And I trademarked the
Wow.
rest of everything in 2020.
Well, I wish I'd
2020.
have known that in the early 2000.
Trademarked
Holy
the hell
crap!
out of that. Oh my God. Sean continued, explaining the background to the actions Perry recently disputed. So, out of all the attorneys, accountants, managers we've had, do you think just one of them could have taken care of business and protected the band? What the
No
hell kind of
doubt.
accountants and attorneys
No
are these?
doubt.
Quote, I'm going
Oh
to
my
take a
God.
wild guess and say that they all knew the differences between songwriting, copyright, and ultimately the trademarks to everything, Sean added. Just a little something to think about, friends. He signed off as Neil Sean, founder and now manager of the band Journey. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, hang on.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, to say that
They're
they're
not even
peeling
fun.
back the onion is yeah, that's a
Holy
good way to
shit.
put it.
They haven't even been trademarked. Oh, my God. Until
God, so much going
2005.
on there. How can that be, man? They are they're a Hall of
my
Fame
God.
band. They're a household name, man.
They're everywhere. Their
2005.
music is everything.
Oh
geez.
my God.
Wow. So this is interesting. So now apparently, well, according to Neil, he's
You
he's
know
now
what?
the man.
That was done in 2005. Coincidentally, that's when the White Sox won the World Series using that song.
Don't
Remember,
stop
they used
believing.
"Don't Stop
Right?
Believing" as their song. So I bet that's probably. I wouldn't doubt if that was what sparked the whole thing being looked into and everything. That'd be interesting
Wow.
to look at that part of it. But that's a hell of a coincidence that it was that year that they started to look into that. But,
That is a hell
wow,
of a
yeah,
story,
great
man.
story. Great story.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. Well, more power to them, man. Gosh, they gave us some great music. So, hey, whatever. Speaking of great players there, Billy Sheehan. A lot of people may not
Oh
know
yeah.
Billy Sheehan. A lot of mainstream, people,
You
regular
may not know him
folks.
by name, but you've definitely heard him. That's for sure.
Oh, man.
He's been in a lot of bands. Well, he's been in a lot of different little projects. He's in one now called Sons of Apollo, with the drummer from Dream Theater, Mike Portnoy, and they paired up. They were in a band called Winery Dogs.
We
So
missed
he's
him.
done a couple of offshoot bands, but you
We
may know
missed him,
him.
Doc. Didn't he come recently? Dead Daisies? Was
Um,
he with the Dead? No, no. I think he's been here
no,
recently. Jeez, we missed him though. We got to start catching some of these folks now that winter's
yeah,
here. That come
yeah,
through.
oh yeah.
Yeah, amazing
But you
player.
probably know him. He was in Mr. Big.
Yeah,
You probably know the band Mr. Big, and he was in David Lee Roth's band when
bingo. Yeah, the one
when
right
Dave
after
broke
David
off
Lee
from
left. He had
right, the
Billy
one that
Sheehan
did
as
Yankee
bass.
Rose and all those, yeah.
Right,
So
and Steve Vai guitarist. So he had
right,
pretty much the best bassist and the best guitarist coming out of Van Halen. But that it didn't work. I'm sure he had dreams of grandeur, but and they
yeah,
lasted.
no,
I
the
don't
album
know.
sold pretty
Oh
well
yeah, I
if I
got it.
remember right. But
Sure.
yeah, I have too. But
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know. Yeah, didn't quite age that quite well, but
But I did not know
Billy
this.
Sheehan was even in for a short time. People, here's a little piece of trivia for you.
Uh-oh.
A band called Max Webster, out of Canada, and they were kind of a little brother band to Rush.
Universal
would
Juveniles.
take
I've
them.
seen them live.
They would take them on. Rush took them on tour a couple times.
I saw them in the
And
70s backing up Rush at the Aragon
yeah,
Ballroom. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And he was with them for a while, which surprised me. But
Wow.
yeah, anyway, he's a guy that's been around in rock and roll for a long time, been with a lot of bands, and something we didn't know about him.
Yeah. He's an avowed member of the Church of Scientology. How about that? With your Tom Hanks and your John Travoltas and whatnot. And he was asked about it in an interview, and he defends Scientology quite a bit. They're not the whack jobs that they say they are, although I question that myself. But he says that he's been a science buff his whole life, and he's been a paleontologist. His mother was a cancer researcher, so she had medical equipment at home and stuff, but he wouldn't mess around with, and he just he doesn't talk much about the subject, only because I know there's a lot of detractors that get upset when anybody speaks about it, and I understand that. So, you gotta head on his shoulders, But I do stick to my guns, and I know it's a good thing with good people. There's some amazing rumors floating around and a lot of bad stories. I would never be involved in something that was not on the up and up. And I've been there for over 50 years. Wow.
I know that surprised me. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been an incredible adventure, been incredibly helpful to me in his life. I did a little bit of drugs in high school. Well, duh. Who hasn't? But they had a wonderful program to clean the drugs out of the body and start over again. And it was a wonderful thing for me. Can't complain there. They do an IQ test before and after.
Yeah, there's other ways to go, though. I mean,
IQ test, and it's amazing how many points you'll gain. Well, thanks, but that right there is sort of like, yeesh.
It's their test. So,
but enough
said. Right
I think South Park did a doozy on it. Was it South Park?
Oh yeah,
probably.
That's when Isaac Hayes left the show over.
Oh yeah, he was over that.
Scientologist.
Yeah. They got kicked off. John Travolta, come out of the closet. But I respect all religions, and I respect people that disagree too. So the guy's got his head on his shoulders, and he's playing with being an amazing musician. He's playing with some of the other amazing musicians. I mean, he can play with a guitar shredder and shred on the bass himself. You don't see many bass shredders, but he is truly one of the bass shredders, man. So
yeah, he was on. You may remember a few years back they had that metal show with Eddie Trunk. And on the VH1 Classic, and they had a thing where going in and out of the commercials, they'd go to the guest guitar player, and they would shred or whatever, and that was the thing. And he was the only bass player that they had on there, and he would do a whole little solo thing and some crazy shit. And yeah, he's just a bit of a virtuoso,
Well, he's cool. Cool beans, man. Billy.
But he's Scientologist, so he's fucking weird. And you know what, though? I've seen him in interviews, and he always struck me as very intelligent. And now it's like, kind of, you wonder, I don't know.
Oh, well, to each his own, I guess, if it doesn't bother me, more power to him. Hey, here we go. Boom. I take credit for this one.
Sometimes our prayers are answered.
5-finger death punch. Yeah. If you remember last week or whatever, I called them the Bay City Rollers of Metal. And they might have heard me because Ivan Moody, a singer, he's announced that he's going to.
Hold on. Let me stop. Okay. I thought his name was Zoltan Bathory. You mean that's not his real name? Oh my God. Ivan Moody's his real. I'm shocked.
Well, that's what it says, but
oh my God, Zoltan wasn't his given name. I'm shocked.
Well, he looked like a Zoltan with all them tattoos on his face. What's wrong? Leave your face alone, Tattoo everything else. Leave your face alone. Jeez. Anyway, he's going to retire after one more 5-finger death punch, and I'll take credit for that. I think he might have heard me. He's hurt that people think he's the Bay City Roller of metal. So, yeah, he's
Well, you're right. I need to correct you that there's not that he's retiring. He's retiring from metal.
Right. Yes, one more album. Well, he's going to do one more album with 5-finger death punch.
Yeah, right. And then he says he's retiring from metal.
But he is a country aficionado. Even with those crazy tattoos, he's going to have to get them burned off and stuff because they ain't going to put up with that crap.
Oh yeah. The world's changed, Mike.
I know they will.
This ain't your George Jones country world anymore.
Yeah, no. But it was great. He's got a video on YouTube, and near the end of the concert, apparently he brings a couple of his kids out.
Right.
They sit down on one of the platforms there, and he tells the crowd, "Hey, I'm one more album, and then I'm going to retire from metal, and if it's for the family, hey, more power to you, man.
He kind of starts off saying he made his kids a promise, and the promise was he's going to do the one more album, and their next tour is actually with a country artist, Brantley Gilbert. So You know, people are speculating that maybe he's going to go country because the way that he worded it, I'm retiring from metal. So it's like, is he going to go country? Is he on? I'm sure that's why he's going back to Ivan Moody instead of Zoltan Bathory. That's not going to work in the country world, I don't think.
Yeah,
But
well, I think you know, if he's made a boatload of money, which he probably has, if he's a family man, you know, none of this other stuff means crap. Quite honestly, if he's that serious with his family, if he's made enough money, he's gonna put his family ahead of music. That's what I think.
you know, if that's the case, you know, I've always respected that, man. I mean, I
You
would
bet.
much respect when John Lennon did it, man. He was the biggest rock star in the world.
He's it. You know, them
Gave it
kids
up
are
for
still
5
young
years,
too. Those kids are young kids too. So you know, I imagine he wants to go see some ball games and some dances and daddy daughter dances and stuff. So if that's the case, man, I may mock them about being the Bay City Rollers, but you know, if he's making decisions on that based on his family, I got nothing but props for him, man. Total respect. Total.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he truly retires or if he just pops up as a country guy, or you know, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Hey, KK, we finally heard from KK Downing. You know, Judas Priest has of course
Right.
been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in some juiced up freaking category that means nothing, but you know, they use the category
Well, it
for the
doesn't
band.
mean, it's not for nothing, but
Well,
yeah, they're in
it's
the Hall of Fame.
well,
So it's kind
yeah,
of a backdoor way in, yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of
But
an
anyway,
asterisk kick kind of way. Yeah.
but anyway, KK has confirmed to Ultimate Classic Rock, so it is UCR, okay, that he will perform with Judas Priest at the band's upcoming Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I think we'll probably get 8 or 9 minutes, he said. I'm not even going to be able to break a sweat. The main thing is to represent the attitude and hopefully the legend of what Judas Priest is. So they give him 9 minutes, huh? And it's blah blah blah. It's been a long time journey, blah blah. And hopefully it'll just be a kind of remind people and bring back some cherished memories of the heavy metal parking lots all around the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? I recently came across that heavy metal parking lot. Have you seen that before? Do you know what they're
No,
referring to?
no, I'm not good on anything. What do you got? What's
No,
up?
it's a documentary from the '80s where a guy just took a camcorder into it was a parking lot before Judas Priest show,
Cool.
and just seeing how just all these drunk teenagers just spouting about metal's the bad, Priest rules, this kind of stuff, and just from back from the '80s, you kind of remember how kids were. Now, yeah, I just came across it. It's about I think it's actually pretty long, but the first, all you need is like the first 10, 15 minutes of it, you pretty much know what's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, we had been speculating about KK if he was going to play with them. It's kind of been on the outs, and we reported a week or two ago that Priest was going to do a medley with that 8 or 9 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, kind of coming together.
And
They
Les
kind of got a
Binks.
plan of what they're going to do now. So
Les Binks is going to be there too, and I'm glad for that. You
right.
don't hear about Les Binks a lot,
Oh
but
no, you don't.
God, he was on their first live album. What was that?
Unleashed in the East.
Unleashed in the East. Oh man, that album is deadly. That's
Yeah.
vicious, man. If you want to hear Priest at their absolute peak, get Unleashed in the East because his voice they're all at the top of their game. That's a very
that's a good one.
excellent album. But
Yeah, I got that one.
yeah, Les Binks is going to be there, and let me see here what they say. Drummer he will also perform with the band at the event. Good for him, and added that it would be like riding the proverbial bicycle more than a decade after guitarist last played with Priest. It's what I've done so many times.
Oh yeah,
Downing said. It's almost like cracking a beer, let alone riding a bike. It's embedded in me. It's what I do. So it'll be quite something to look forward to just to get up there and crank the amps up and just do it once again for the short moment in time. And damn it, I wish he wouldn't make really. Come on, guys. That the producer that plays with Judas Priest on the road. I can't remember his name, but he doesn't want to be there. They were gonna tour as a 4-piece for a moment there, if you remember correctly. They were talking about touring Judas Priest touring about a 4-piece,
No,
So
they can't do
the
that.
other guy,
They can't. They got to have two
the
guitars.
second guitarist doesn't want to be there anyway. Get KK back in there for crazy. He's not doing nothing but sitting at home whining. I'm sure. What's the hell
Well,
he
no,
doing?
he's touring with his version of
Oh,
Priest or whatever. But yeah,
whatever. Jeez, get
yeah,
back with Priest. You know,
yeah,
time is time.
yeah.
You're losing
They're
time.
too old for that shit at this
You're
point. Yeah,
losing valuable time. Make
yeah,
up,
yeah.
kiss, make up, and get back to it.
Yeah, we've been talking about hoping that would spark
They'll
a
regret
reunion
it.
with them going into the Hall of Fame. So
They'll
hope,
regret it if they
you know,
don't.
fingers crossed. You know, yeah, kind of looks like maybe said it that way. So
Yeah, yeah. But it's going to be held. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be held November 5th. So
yeah,
you
coming
know,
up.
in LA. So hopefully, man, yeah, have a good show. You know, good
Yeah,
show
yeah,
and good time. I can't
yeah,
wait. You know, I'm looking really. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. And then, oh geez, this is up your alley, brother. The old the Punk Museum. Yeah, a couple of years ago, No FX frontman Mike Fat Mike. If you've seen Fat Mike, you'd remember him, folks. Burkett had an idea for a punk rock store that would also display rare genre artifacts that he collected over the years. But the idea evolved, and now it's 12,000 square foot punk rock museum, the first of its kind to exhaustively document the worldwide genre, and more importantly, the first to welcome all punk bands at all sizes, not just the usual suspects. This is very cool. It's about time, eh?
Yeah, it's something he started going. Just started with Fat Mike, No Effects. I've seen them a couple times at
Did you?
festivals.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah, he's been at Riot Fest a couple times, and I've seen him. He's quite a character. Yeah, he's but he's recently retired, and just exactly to do what we were just talking about, just spend time with his kids, and
There you
he
go.
kind of did the exact same thing. So now apparently this is his project, is getting this going, and he was just talking about how cool it would be for any punk. He's saying if you're a punk band, you're in. If you have any kind of memorabilia, we'll have it at the museum. So, I mean, they got a lot of square footage there, but I don't know for every punk band. But he's his idea, or I think he quoted something along the lines of it'd be kind of cool for a band to come from Europe and see their flyer, in the museum or something. So, yeah, his goal is just kind of be all inclusive to that level. We'll see how it works out.
Well, he
I would
located
definitely
it
love to go check it out. And
he
ever at
located it
Vegas,
in
I
beautiful Las
will.
Vegas, man.
Yeah,
You know, and where else? That's the best place for it. You know, get the most exposure over there in Las Vegas. So good for him, man. That's fabulous. But yeah, that's biggie, man. 12,000 square feet for the punks. That should be great. Let me see here. Well, let me read a little bit here on it. Located in Las Vegas, the new landmark will officially open its doors on January 13th, 2023. So a few months away yet, 2-3 months, when they will hold the grand opening, showing the world thousands of pieces and relics in its 12,000 square foot space. The museum's collection includes a wide range of notable artifacts that includes Debbie Harry's iconic Vulture shirt. I'm not familiar with those. And Devo's Energy Dome helmets. I'm familiar with them.
oh yeah,
Those
it's gonna have all that stuff. I'm sure. It's gonna have
the acoustic guitar
you
that
name
Rides
it, probably.
Against used to write some of their first songs. The bright green chainsaw some 41 used to kick off their shows during the crazy Does That Look Infected era, and interactive exhibits, including one where you can play your favorite punk musician's guitar. So it's going to be crazy cool.
I don't know about that.
Well, what the hell?
No, I'm sure it'd be very cool, but whether they're gonna have like everybody's favorite musician's guitar, that's pretty lofty. But I'm sure that's just marketing. I know, but sounds very cool. Sounds worth checking out. Speaking of punk bands around the world, we saw a few of them this weekend, man.
Yeah, right, you are, man. Wow, what a Saturday night we had. We bought some tickets for the Dead Boys show, which is they were showing up at the Brower House, which is outside of Chicago, just west of Chicago. great club. You know, we came in, doors open at 7. We got there at 9, and boom, things kicked out right off the bat. You know, I didn't know what to expect. I knew the Dead Boys would kick it, you know, but I didn't know what else to expect. But then we got the Poison Boys out of Chicago, Illinois, 4-piece punk band, and
not really like hardcore punk. They were kind of like I don't know, kind of like Jet. They kind of reminded me of a little bit, you know, kind of like that kind of sound, you know, a little rock and roll, maybe like Jack White with the Rack on Tours, like that kind of sound.
mhm.
No, that was a great way to start out the show, man.
Yeah, they kicked it really well.
They were a decent rocking band. Kind of had like maybe like a little Guns N' Roses, kind of maybe to them, you know, that kind of a little bit, wearing leather jackets, that kind of stuff. But they rocked it pretty good, man. I didn't mind that. I thought all 4 bands were great, man. I mean, obviously the Dead Boys was a whole other level.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But Poison Boys club was great. We bought some bar stools, which gave us a great advantage point to see the stage above the main floor. The main floor was wide open, no chairs or anything, so you know, you can get a big crowd in there. And the Poison Boy, you know, good start to the night. It was you know, it was a long night, but boy, oh boy, you know, we knew it was going to be.
Yeah, they did what, about 45 minutes?
No, they did. Actually, it was a half-hour show. I think they did a half-hour set, basically. Boom.
Okay.
And then following the Poison Boys, holy cow, we got Susie Moon. There she is. Ooh, mama. Phew. Wow. Left-handed guitarist, singer, and very impressive, very impressive. Doc, I believe you talked to her, correct?
Yeah. So after her set, you know, she's kind of over in the merch area, and I dug her set very much, man. Very energetic. She writes all of her own stuff. Very 90s kind of sounding. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It was kind of a little Liz Fair, kind of little Courtney Love Hole, kind of, you know. And I was trying to pinpoint maybe what her influences were. And so when I see her at the merch table, you know, I kind of wanted to ask her what her influences were. So when I bought an album, got her album here called Dumb and in Love. You can see it, you know.
There it is. Yeah,
pretty decent album, man. I've listened to it a couple times now. I put it on this morning for my girlfriend. We listened to it. I listened to it a second time, and it's a pretty solid album, man. I gotta say, man. Very almost radio friendly. You know, I would think of the 3 bands other than the Dead Boys that we saw, she would be the most potentially to be heard on the radio, I think.
Right. Yeah.
But really dug her sound. Couldn't find a whole lot about her on the internet though. I went I was kind of talking to her, and we could potentially have her on the show. So
we'll try and get her.
Some more subscribers. We'll try to get her on the show. But her favorite is Tom Petty. She's a big Tom Petty fan, and she started rattling off a lot of classic rock artists. You know, big Tina. I remember Tina Turner, The Who. So she's kind of got a lot of different sounds. I hear a lot of old punk band kind of references, kind of in her music and stuff. But I wish her well, man. I hope she really does well. She's, she's left-handed, plays a Fender.
Probably I think is a jazz master. Just kicks ass all night long. Very attractive. Very stage friendly. You know, she really she has no problem being up on the stage. A real solid band behind her, and boy, it was great. It was just really good to see the young talent, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you wish you were, you know, 30, 35 years younger, you know, but we are what we are. But
we had our time, you know.
Yeah. But she was very good, very, very good. And then things really started getting interesting when here they are. Is that them? Nope. Where are they?
Yeah,
there they
called the Briefs.
The Briefs. Oh man, you know, wow. I'm telling you, you know, yeah, you said, Susie Moon, yeah, she's really something, and she really is. She's really great. But I'll tell you what, I've never heard of these cats either. But holy cow, they got a following, and they look goofy like this, but holy cow, they're like one of those Ramones bands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next song, stop. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. They're just jamming all night long, and
Yeah.
the stage dive. Suddenly, all these overweight guys
Yeah.
start jumping on the stage so they can stage dive off the stage, and they're all overweight.
Yeah.
What the hell's going
It
on?
wasn't much of a dive so much as a kind of a lean into kind of,
A
yeah.
plop.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was
But
yeah,
these guys kicked ass. Period. End of story. God, I never heard of them, but holy cow! And I don't know where they're from. Maybe they're from Chicago. I don't know.
Seattle.
They're
Seattle.
from Seattle, so they're
Yeah.
okay. They're on tour with the Dead Boys then,
Yeah,
because
they are true.
the Poison Boys, they're from Chicago, and I'm not sure. We're not sure.
I couldn't find out where Susie was
Susan
from.
Moon's
So I
from.
don't know.
Yeah,
She's
said
been part of a couple other bands, so not really sure.
she
what
said she drove a
started out
long
from.
way to get there. So,
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Good
yeah.
call.
So, but I don't know where these cats are from Seattle, but yeah, yeah. Then obviously they had a following because you could tell the crowd knew there's music and were following along, and they started the mosh pit. There's where it started, man. Suddenly we see crowd surfing and mosh pitting, and wow, things really went really impressive from that point on, eh?
Yeah, they put on a pretty high energy set, I would say. But very, to put it mildly. Yeah, I was looking up a little bit about them. They've been around for a while. They started out in like a 2000, and they had like
Wow.
5 albums out before 2005. So they were
Wow.
pretty prolific there to start off with. But then not exactly sure. Things fell apart and they rejoined. But then in 2019 they put out another album, and
Wow.
it seems like in between there they still toured every once in a while. So I don't know if they were like officially broke up or just not doing albums so much. Not sure what was going on, but yeah, they kind of had a sound to me like I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of early punk bands like the Damned, like the first Damned album, especially the drums, kind of hear a Buzzcocks influence on them,
Yeah.
but more contemporary, more upbeat, more just yeah.
Well, the look, their look reminded me of the remember the rock fight in the Cheech and Chong movie, Up in the Smoke. They had the rock
Oh
fight,
yeah.
and they had that one group there that was had some chick dancing there and all these goofy
Screamers.
glasses and whatnot. What? Thank
I believe
God.
that was the Screamers in real
You're
life.
stunning, man. You're unbelievable, dude.
Don't take.
Jeez.
I'm not 100% on that one.
Well,
But I know the
give
Germs
you
were one of
anyway.
them that they show getting their equipment ready.
The Germs, cool. But yeah,
the
they
Germs
came
one of
out with the Reefs that came out with the goofy glasses and whatnot. But they really the crowd is really something, and very crazy. The bunch of fat guys jump up and singing with them on the mics and stuff. It was really bizarre, but great mosh pit and whatnot. And boy, I thoroughly enjoyed them, man. That was very cool.
Yeah, apparently the song that set them off, they had a song called "Poor and Weird," and that's when the guys got up on stage and was sharing
great
the mic with
energy.
them and then jumping into the crowd. Yeah,
Amazing
energy
Boom.
for days. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, geez. Whew.
So
Yeah.
then kind of chilled for a little bit. We were up in our bar stools there, and it was kind of cool how they had it set up. You pay, whatever we paid for the tickets, and you get 2 bar stools, and we were kind of concerned going in, or I was anyway. If somebody's in our bar stool, but no, you go in and they have your name on there and everything.
Yeah.
So we're kind of chilling on our bar stool, and we got everything. And once these guys kind of finished, and people are going out for a smoke or whatever, and so Murph and I made our way down to the floor, and before we know it, we find ourselves front and center, man.
Front and
We
center,
are
baby.
leaning on
Front
the
row.
stage, man. Front and center.
For the
We're leaning
legendary.
on the stage, man.
For the legendary legendary punk monster. There they are, the freaking Dead Boys. Oh, I tell you, man. Wow.
Dude, I never in my life thought I'd see the Dead Boys. And just so people know that we're not just kind of, hey, that's who we saw, so we really like them. You can go back on previous episodes. Yeah. First
I
of all,
bought this
go.
back in the 70s, folks. I bought this in the
pressing,
70s, mid 70s.
Original pressing.
So there you go. Original, baby.
Yeah. And even you can go back on like our first, I think it was the second or third episode. We were talking about that album, and they are. I think at the time I said, and I have on a couple occasions. If somebody comes over to my house, they want to hear some old punk. That's who I put on is the Dead Boys. I never, ever thought that I would get a chance to see them. I just never thought that'd be a possibility. And God, I'm so glad we did, man. Dude, we had a blast, man. We had a blast, dude. We're leading on front of the stage. They come running out. They got this guy named Jake Hout, and obviously he's not Steve Bators, but man, he's got some Steve Bators in him, man. And I didn't feel cheated at all, man. I didn't feel cheated a bit, man. After Steve died in the early 90s, and the Dead Boys have just been kind of doing some stuff, in and out since then. And I think for a while there, Cheetah took over the vocals just because he didn't trust anybody else to do them. And then they found this guy, Jake Hout, who was actually in a cover band for the Dead Boys cover band called the Living Dead Boys, and they were a zombie themed Dead Boys cover band. And I think they were out of Austin, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, they found this guy, and man, it was great. I mean, he was right over me the entire night. I'm like right there with the guy, man.
Yeah. We were leaning against the stage.
We had quite some interaction going. Yeah.
There was no barrier. There was no bullshit. We were right up against the stage. Doc he had a monitor right in front of him, and I had the junction box, the snake, so to speak, that they plug in all the microphones into this extension snake, and then that snake goes to the main mixing board. So we got that junction box sitting in front of us there.
It's like just one kind of punk setup things, man. Everything was just kind of
just great.
Hodgepodge kind of put up, even to the point. I remember the drummer had like the smallest drum set I've ever seen. It was like for a kid or something, man.
No. I think they call that a traveling kit, but it still had a big sound. I mean, it's all. Some sound command can make that sound crazy
for sure. But then it was just the fact, like the bass drum, just the kick drums, just kept getting away from them. So they had to bring in a speaker that they weren't using to block that from coming in.
Let me tell you about that. They had the drum set on a carpet like all drummers do. But the mini drum kit, the bass drum is so light that no matter what happened, this was a hard hitter. And when you hit the bass drum, it kept shifting forward. So what they ended up doing is putting a stage monitor in front of the bass drum to keep it from moving forward. So, that drummer was crazy good. Holy cow, man. He was out of his mind. God, they were good. Jeez. But anyway, let
me set the scene a little bit.
Please do.
I know what you're going to go into. I'm dying to get into it too.
Do it.
But set the scene a little bit. They come out and doing the punk classic Sonic Reducer. If you don't know this song, please leave immediately. And we're giving you permission to go and come back and listen to Sonic Reducer. That's a punk classic. If you don't know the Dead Boys, they're not punk in a way like a lot of people think of punk. It was just, at the beginning of punk, it was just very much more hard rock than what people think of as punk. And man, they just, they were that street hard rock New York style. They were originally from Cleveland. We may go into that a little bit, but more just about the concert. They come out doing Sonic Reducer right off the bat, and just we're going nuts. We are going nuts, man.
Yeah.
And so as the night goes on, and we could see the set list.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
so we knew what was coming. Yeah.
There it is.
Hi-oh. You know what?
There it is.
It was
As
you know,
torn as it is.
you know how it got torn. It was that set list was under the studio or the stage
Right.
monitor that was holding the bass drum
Right.
back.
So it's Cheetah Chrome, the
Cheetah
original
Chrome.
member that's left. He's the man. He's the bald guy there on the right.
Dang right,
He's,
man.
he's a punk legend, punk,
Yeah.
godfather.
Icon. Yeah.
As he's walking off the stage, he's reaching down to get it, and he's not gonna fuck around and move the monitor or shit. He just rips it off,
Gives it to you,
tosses
brother.
it up, and as paper does, it just kind of floats a little bit. And I just snatched it, and so yeah, got.
But that was the end of the.
Cheetah
Yeah, that
so,
was the end of the show.
cool.
But we still got much
That was
more.
at the end of the night. But
Oh, let me tell you.
There's other stories here.
Let's set the stage here. So we're sitting there rocking. You know, we got a mosh pit behind us. They're just brutalizing our back. Boom, throwing us into the stage. Boom, which I enjoyed fully because I just came back with it. You know, boom, an elbow or whatever. You know, it was joyous. It was a joyous time. We were just being tussled about. It was so cool.
Well, one thing, the roadies had come out right beforehand and kind of told no stage diving, guys, for nobody on the crowd jumping up on the stage. So they kind of made that clear right away.
Yeah, because
so I know you and I were bummed, but
they knew I wasn't doing no fucking
yeah.
stage diving. Pardon my Latin, but yeah, the Briefs had a bunch of stage diving, but when the Dead Boys came on, there was a rather large man standing next to Cheetah Chrome's amp for the whole night, and you know why he was there.
Yeah,
anybody dares come on that stage, this large son of a gun is going to go through him right off. So there was no problem there. But anyway, so we're rocking our ass off, and I don't know, it's probably about the time where they're doing Caught with the Meat in Your Mouth or whatever, one of those songs, and the lead singer says, I'm going to stage dive, because everybody's stage dive. It's a crazy night. The place is insane. Everybody's doing everything. We got showered with beer. How many times? I mean, there was beer flying in the air. It was perfect, So the lead singer, he's got a microphone, but the problem is, it's got a cord attached to it. So he takes off. He takes off on the stage diving or the surfing,
crowd surfing
on his back. He's got the microphone with him. The problem is they took him so far back that the mic cord started stretching, and it's stretching around the monitor that you were right in front of. So you pull it around the monitor to give him some slack, and at that point it's right in me, and I watch it, and it's tightening, and boom, the mic cord pops off. So he's out. He may be singing, but we don't know because we can't see shit. We're being tousled in the front row, just trying to keep our bearings about us, and eventually, the lead singer comes back. They surf his ass back to the stage, and he jumps back on, and some guy next to me, like I said, the XLR, the microphone, the junction box is right in front of me. Some guy next to me grabs the end of the microphone cord and tries to plug it back in, but he plugged it into the wrong place. The lead singer gets back on, and as soon as he gets back on, he drops the microphone there, and I'll be doggone, some guy stole the microphone right
immediately.
There, right in front of us. Stole the mic. I didn't even know. I saw the microphone, and I looked back, and it's gone. Boom.
No.
So some son of a bitch, some low life son of a bitch.
Well, that doesn't surprise but yeah, that's pretty amount. Yeah, we're sitting there, and he goes in the stage dive right on me first. I'm the tallest guy there, right in front center. So he stage dive on me, so I kind of hand him off in the crowd. And then as he's crowd surfing out there's the mic cord, and then there's no roadies. Usually, when bands do it, they have a wireless, but now they got somebody, a roadie. There's nobody out there. So I jump in, and I'm starting to hand the cord out, and I'm handing it out. Next time I know, you're tapping, turning around, and you're holding the end of it in your hand where it pulled out of the junction box. And then we're looking at each other. We're looking up there, and the singer's up on the table or something over there singing and shit his ass off. Nobody can hear him because we're holding the fucking mic cord.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out which one it goes into. And then there's always a jerk. And this jerk, he works So he kind of wormed his way into my spot, but he's not there to he don't know what the fuck he's in there to fucking just take my spot.
Yeah.
And so we took care of that on the short order.
Yeah. Well, you're bigger than him,
but,
so that sort of helps.
Yeah, there's always jerks, but yeah, like you said, and then he came back, and he came back. He had the microphone, and then honestly, it was like in a blink of an eye, man. Before I knew it, the microphone was gone, and then we're like, we're hoping we don't get blamed for it. We're like, come on, Geez,
Oh, if you're wondering,
insane,
just in case
man.
you're wondering, I'm petting my dog. Vesper's here. She just barged into the room, so I'm just gonna let her stay here. But yeah, that was so cool. So anyway, yeah, he gets back on. He realizes, oh crap, I got no mic. So he grabbed another mic. There was another Shure.
He grabbed Cheetah's mic. Yeah,
he grabbed Cheetah's SM58 Shure, and they plugged him back in and proceeded to just rock our ass off. It was, really, it was so much fun. It was joyous. I dare to say. Puppy dog. I dare to say that crowd wise, this was the most fun crowd all year long. Quite honestly,
tiny crowd, and we'll get that a little bit, but yeah, it was small but mighty, true fans, and it's upsetting, dude. I can't believe I saw Dead Boys. It's upsetting to me that that small of a crowd was there for punk legends, man, punk pioneers, man. People don't realize.
Yeah, I sure do appreciate them touring though. Just really, and you're right though, man. Jeez, it's like freaking Ramones touring, for Christ's sakes. Geez,
right?
Get out there, But they were a mighty party crowd, I'll tell you. That was a bet. Really, I had more fun there, crowd wise, than anywhere else. Jeez.
Well, being right up front too, that definitely
that sure does help,
man.
Yeah, that sure does help. I rocked out. I was surprised, man. My everything felt good. The old ticker felt great, and it was energizing, man. It really felt great.
Oh, dude, we were rocking hard, man. We were out of our minds, man. And it was fun just being up front. You get to be, I've been up front for several shows. It's just cool being like kind of part of the show. And there's like that part where in the line where I need lunch, and the line is your face is gonna get a punch, and I'm the guy that got to get your face is gonna get a punch. And I got the, he actually didn't punch me, but, similarly.
Right.
And, just, a great time. But like I said, it's a real shame that people just don't really know about the Dead Boys, man. People need to be educated. People need to know about the Dead Boys place in rock and roll, man.
We had some great punkers there, though. We had the one cat with the 10-inch high mohawk up at his head. And he was a true punk, because we checked him out, and about Susie Moon, it looked like he was done for the night. Looked like he was cashed in. He'd done, but apparently he probably went to the John or whatever and hurled up and revived himself, and he was there the rest of the night rocking his butt off. So, and there were some cool punks there, yeah, and even some older guys, some older guys like us who were punks back in the day. They brought out their vests and whatnot, and just a good reminiscing about the good old days, because I'm sure there were badasses in the day. But it was so cool to see these cats. Just very, very impressive, and a really nice venue. I'm sure we're going to be hitting that place, multiple times this winter, just to see some cool stuff, because it's a good venue, and it's easy to get to for us. And man, we're just pumped up, and it's very cool.
Yeah, I don't know what the capacity for that place would be, but I don't know. What was the crowd for that night? What do you think? 300?
Probably about that. Yeah.
Maybe a little more, maybe. But
they could have used a whole lot more people. Yeah.
Criminally small for
should have been a lot more people there, but nonetheless, they put out a hell of a show, man. See, that's some guys just like to rock. They'll rock. Quite honestly, one gig I did. When I was in actually a pretty decent band, we played for 4 people at a club, 4 people, but we still gave it all. So there you go. Yeah,
but you weren't a punk pioneer.
I surely wasn't. I was a loser. I was lame. No, I'm not that lame.
Too, but
I got 4 songs coming out very soon. So I'm digging that stuff. Yeah, what a great
I'm kind of thinking I just want to educate the people on the Dead Boys, Mike. What do you think?
Do it to him,
Just
man.
call an audible and change topics right now.
Yeah, why don't you do that, brother? We were going to talk about something else, but the punk thing, I know how you feel about it. So, yeah, expound, if you will.
Dead Boys. This is their place in rock and roll. CBGBs, many of you know, as it says here on my shirt, home of alternative music. CBGB and other music for uplifting gormandizers. What that means. They started there. They were with the the Ramones. They were kind of a brother band to the Ramones, and they were kind of parallel with them coming up, and for different reasons I'll get into a little bit, maybe a little bit later here. The Ramones had a different trajectory of their career, but they were there with the Talking Heads and Blondie and all those CBGB bands. They were initially from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Originally going way back to the infancy. Let's go over the members. We'll start off with Cheetah Chrome, who's still there. He's still there, and he's who we saw the other night.
Right.
And the drummer Johnny Blitz. And they were in a band called Rocket from the Tombs out of Cleveland. And they were doing gigs around there and whatnot. And so Steve Baders, whose real name was Steve Bader,
yep.
And he was at the show one time, and Cheetah let him come on up stage and do a song. The rest of the band didn't take too kindly to that, and they ended up breaking up over it. So Cheetah and Johnny Blitz and Steve Baders started a band. They went and they got rhythm guitarist Jimmy Zero and bass player Jeff Magnum.
Yeah.
And they were called Frankenstein.
Wow.
And they were playing around there a little bit. And somehow, I'm not exactly sure, somehow along the way, they befriended Joey Ramone.
Really?
And Joey Ramone was the one to talk them into coming to New York. And so he kind of bullshitted Hilly Crystal. Yeah, these guys are great. He'd never heard them. Joey had never heard them before. These guys are great. Yeah, you got you got to put them on. So they came to New York with kind of a gig, got CBGBs ready for them, and they fit right into that scene, man. They fit right into that scene. I have a DVD. Oh man, I should have got it out. It's behind me. A DVD of a concert from '77 there. It's just as crazy and as punk as you kind of remember. It's just it's just fun looking back on those early punk days and just seeing Steve was kind of known for he would cut his stomach with a mic stand, doing some Iggy stuff.
Can I cut in here?
Yeah, please do.
On YouTube, if folks want to check out the Dead Boys, go to YouTube and punch in Sonic Reducer into YouTube, and they should come up with an older video from the 70s.
Yeah, it's from the DVD I just spoke of.
So if you want to see these cats, and they start out, it's the start of the concert, just like Saturday night. I was hoping they'd start out with Sonic Producer, sure enough.
Yeah.
But you know what's great? The introduction is actually the introduction is legendary. You got to check out the introduction to the band. Sure. This guy is great. But there's my side view. So yeah.
Now I can't stress enough too is if you haven't heard them, it's not what a lot of people think of as punk. It's kind of that Green Day kind of line of punk, or this is very, very early on, and like I said, they had the first album, Young, Loud, and Snotty, which is the masterpiece that Mike had the. Murph had the
here it is. Here. Let me get the screen back. Yeah, there it is. Let's look at the back here. There's the front. Leo standing against the brick wall, looking bad to the bone. And then there's another picture of them with a low light looking up. But yeah, they look sinister. They look nasty, and that's what they wanted. And the reason I got this album actually is because they did a Hey Little Girl cover of the Syndicate of Sound song from back in the day. And that's actually why I got the album. I dug that so much because they did it so well. And then just to hear all the rest of the great songs on here, it was just legendarily cool. Legendarily. I think I just made a new word, Doc.
Yeah, that's cool.
Legendarily.
Yeah, people do it all the time. Sure, why not?
Cool, man. Cool.
But yeah, they were rocking. They weren't like I said, like that, like the Ramones kind of punk. I guess they weren't just that or just sped up Chuck Berry riffs. They were, they had a cool sound, and their songs had structure, and just about street life in New York, and very cool, man. One song they have, "I Need Lunch." That's the one where it says "Going to take a punch in your face."
Yeah.
And the meaning of that song, it goes back. There's a woman named Lydia Lunch, and she became a punk icon in her own right later. But started off, she was kind of a groupie for the Dead Boys, and she would steal lunches for them, and bring them, bring them around for the Dead Boys, and like I said, kind of do the things that groupies do, the kind of, let's just say she was very sexually active. And
All right.
so when he says "I need lunch," they're referring to "I need Lydia lunch," and so that's kind of the lyrics kind of go in line with that. It's a pretty cool song. And but yeah, Lydia, that's a whole other thing. Lydia, she was later in a band called Teenage Jesus and the Jerks, and they were kind of part of the no wave scene. If you ever know about that.
No,
But
I haven't.
so don't want to go on a sidetrack too much. But so yeah, the Dead Boys, Hilly Crystal, the manager the owner of CBGB's, managed the Dead Boys. So he was kind of putting his, putting all his money and putting all his stuff behind him.
Sure.
And they were kind of starting to kind of get on their way a little bit. I mean, obviously punk didn't break here like it did over in England, but they were kind of on that level with the Ramones. And they put out a second album I have here called "We Have Come for Your Children." They did 3 songs off of this album the other night, so that was pretty cool. And so they were kind of on their way. And actually, the first album was produced by Jenna Raven. Some of you may know her. And the second album, for whatever reason, was produced by Felix Paparotti, from
bass player, legendary
Rascals,
bass player,
right?
producer from Mountain.
Oh, okay, Mountain, right.
Felix Paparotti. Wow.
What am I thinking of? Yeah. So he produced. I know. I seen an interview recently, and Lou Reed had wanted to produce their second album, but for whatever reason, I don't know how the powers that be, Felix got in there. I don't know how that happened, but the second album definitely is trying to take those songs and that sound from the first album and make it maybe a little more radio friendly. It doesn't quite hit the mark, a little bit. It's not a bad album, but yeah, it's not quite like the first one. So.
Oh, the first one's legendary.
About that time, the drummer Johnny Blitz had gotten attacked outside of CBGB's.
Really?
And was stabbed. They stabbed in the chest 4 or 5 times.
No,
it was just 4 times, possibly 5 times. He lived, but he was really messed up.
Wow.
And Hilly took care of his, medical bills. All of them.
Yeah.
Later, they had a benefit too, though. All the CBGB bands played for a benefit for him with the Ramones and all those bands. But so that kind of sidetracked their momentum there, for a little bit. He was out of commission for about a year. So the band, they kind of stopped for about a year. Went on, and that was kind of the end of them. They just kind of died out after that. Cheetah went on and did some solo stuff. Stiv Bators went on, he did a solo album, but then he started another band with some guys from other punk bands from England called Lords of the New Church. And that's a pretty good album. I should have pulled that. That's another good album.
Really?
And,
you don't have you don't have Lords of the Underworld, do you?
No.
Darkness fills my heart with pain. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld.
Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld. Yeah.
Yeah. But now the Dead Boys, man, people don't realize they were kind of that link between rock and punk, man. They were a great freaking band. And if the situation had been different, they might be the Ramones. They may be on the same status as the Ramones, But there's always bands that just kind of seem to be destined to have that little place in time, that just kind of. But for whatever reason, I mean, I wouldn't think it would have been a huge turnout, or I wouldn't expect them to fill an arena or anything. But man, to have a crowd that small was really shocking and a little sad, really.
Yeah. Well, they still rocked and we rocked. It was a great time, man. You know, it was even though they were small, man, it was the best crowd I've been around all year, quite honestly.
Oh yeah, we had a rocking
You know,
time. Like I said, got a little raucous, getting down there in
Little
the pit,
Rock is close to
get slammed around a
Steely
little
Dan.
bit, but
The Steely Dan crowd came close. No, they didn't. I'm just kidding. That's bullshit. They didn't come close. No, this was crazy. These guys were there to, they were there. They were serious. Serious rockers. And wow, it was so much fun. My neck still hurts. From headbanging all night long.
right.
But it was worth it. We sat down for the first three bands to reserve our energy, and then when we saw the opening, bam, we hit it, and we were front and center stage, and boy, that was so cool. And the bass player was apparently the bass player from The Cure.
The
So
Cult.
that's pretty cool. So he
The
announced
Cult,
him
not The Cure.
or The Cult. Okay, yeah. So that's very cool. So it was really quite a nice event, and I'm looking forward to having a few more of them over the summer or over the winter before we get our next year's schedule, brother. Oh man. So yeah, good times,
Absolutely.
man. So yeah, it was a good time, and
So yeah, a little bit different kind of show this week. Kind of went off
on a
the charts here a
tangent.
little bit. Yeah, that's all right. That's
Sure.
what we do. It's important for people to know about the Dead Boys. It's important for people to know about
You're here.
Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
Familiarize yourself with it a little bit and expand your horizons, and you can thank me later.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely look into the Dead Boys if you want to check out their album Young, Loud, and Snotty. If not, go to YouTube. Check out Sonic Reducer live, and just thank us later. But it's been a great one, Doc. Man, I've been looking forward to this, man, because it was such a cool Saturday night, man. We really got our
Great night.
yayas out, if you will. So
Absolutely.
thanks everybody for checking us out, and if you would, subscribe and share us with your
Smash that
friends.
subscribe button. I'm gonna start saying that from now. That's what the kids are saying.
Yeah, come on,
Smash that
man.
subscribe button.
Give us a little love. We got a lot of friends out there, and you don't have to watch every show, but at least subscribe. So we build our subscribers. It takes. We've seen other podcasters discuss it that it takes forever to get to even 100 subscribers.
Yeah, it's kind of a snowball effect. The more you get, the more you get exposed to. The more you get, the more you get exposed to. The more you get, the more you get exposed to. So
yeah. So
we're trying to get that
appreciate it.
snowball rolling a little bit. So
absolutely. Thanks everybody for checking us out, and we sure do appreciate it. And Doc, thanks again, man. It was a great one. I'm looking to quite a few more adventures in the future, brother. So what do you got to say, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, we didn't go off too much, and the show everybody could enjoy listening to, and carrying on with our adventures and whatnot. So in the meantime, we'll see you next week, and have yourself a great rock and roll filled week.
Yep.
Yeah.